What is up, guys? Thanks for tuning in for another video. Thanks for all y'all's comments and stuff on the last video, all 6.5 of y'all that commented. I thought I would show y'all. I cleaned off the top of my toolbox, so now that I can, you know, we getting back into it. So now I got a clean little surface. I can have little parts up on here and there, and you know, not have it just all blow it out everywhere. And anyways, gotta have a clean toolbox. So I left y'all with kind of a question in the last video. I said, do y'all think I should try to hit up Chris for his 6.0, or should I hold out for the fresh bearing, freshly slapped together 5.3? Most of y'all said 5.3, just for the peace of mind and, you know, all that it's got fresh cam bearings, fresh rod and main bearings, rings, all that. It was still going to be used pistons, used rods, used crank, all that. And then of course my heads that I had built by Billy Dixon, and then my cam and all that, blah blah blah. Well, I got to talking to Chris, and he said, you know what, dude, you can have it. So I am going to be building the 6.0. This is going to be interesting because we haven't played with a motor. It's been a few years, so I gotta knock the cobwebs out of the old brain and get back on the LS game. But before we get too deep into it, let me show you the old dirty girl. Ta-da! We have a 6.0. I forgot when we originally did this deal, we pulled it out of that van, and I remember now that we were kind of getting more serious about that, that van had 478,000 miles on the cluster. Y'all think this had 480,000 miles on it, or you think it had been swapped out or rebuilt, or since it was in a work van, you think somebody kept up with the fleet maintenance? Well, no, let's take a quick look. Now, I already taped up the exhaust ports. There was one valve guide on both sides that you could see oil had been seeping down from, so we know for sure there's a couple valve seals that were gone. So this bitch was probably smoking just a little bit. And so I went ahead and taped up the exhaust port so I wasn't putting a bunch of cleaner down in there. Now I am getting the heads rebuilt anyways, but you know, try to keep it half decent. Most of the dust and grime up here really seems like it was some of this lighter stuff is from the time it spent over here in the corner. But you gotta remember it was in a van, so in the vans, you know, the body's like over all this, and this stuff kind of doesn't really get any airflow, and it's not out in the open, so a lot of this dirt and sludge kind of has just been from where it was in an engine bay. But anywho's, looks like our passenger side of the block had quite a bit of oil leaking. Looks like our front main was definitely a problem because we were clean and dry up here, and then we had a bunch of sludge right here. So it looks like we kind of tried to clean a little bit back then, but I think our front timing cover and our front main seal are probably both not impressive right now. And then it looks like either this is going to be from that, or possibly an oil pan gasket would be my assumption, or they always have the transcooler lines and stuff right here, so maybe the transcooler lines were leaking up here and bleeding down on here, kind of like my Tahoe's doing right now. So not too sure, but the actual block itself right here is clean. This is just, I don't know, some kind of cleaner or something was getting in here, but it's not sludgy or oily. It's pretty decent. Doesn't look like we had hellacious valve cover leakage, but we might have. Again, like the front's real dirty. And then interestingly enough, this driver's side of the block is where everything starts to get like really clean. This whole side of the block is fresh. There's a little bit of oil right here built up, but I'm gonna assume the oil cooler lines ran right here. I don't remember, but I bet you those were leaking up here also and kind of sludged up through here. And then we had a little bit of sludge around here. I bet you this gasket was leaking. Kind of par for the course for these LSs. I know those cooler, the trans cooler and the oil cooler lines love to leak, and then the blocks that attach to. But anyways, back cover looks good. The rear main is not dirty really at all. There's a little bit of oil I see right there, but I don't think this engine had a hard life. So what I'm gonna do right now before I get to really jabbing for a while is I've got it plugged up where I think is important, and I am going to take my newly found super clean and some of these solvent brushes here, and I'm gonna get to scrubbing on this thing and see if I can't get her real nice and cleaned up. Let's see what we can do. Alright, so looks like our super clean earns its keep yet again. It was pretty good. The brushes, I wish the brushes were a little bit stiffer. It's like all these little corners, I had trouble getting the sludge and stuff out of there, so I'm gonna have to scrub a little bit more in a couple spots. Like this down here. But for the most part, it got it all off. It's got to be, that super clean's got to be some amount of corrosive, because this wasn't, it was clean black, and this is putting like a white film. It's even doing it to the heads too, so it's not marked as corrosive, but it's definitely got some of that good cleaner in it. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, got the intake spritzed off. I didn't scrub on it any, I just rinsed it off. So I think what I'm going to do now, since I got the bulk of the trash off, And the heads, I don't have to get perfect. I don't want to waste too much time on those because Billy hot baths them anyways. So, you know, why should I scrub them and get them perfect when I can just, you know, knock the bulk of the sludge off so it's a little better for him, and then just give them to him and let him get them clean. And then also on the oil pan, I'm using the Yield Amazon special knockoff 302 dash. I'm either going to do a -1 or a -2. I don't know which one I'm going to do. But that way I can get a little bit of a lower profile pan and not have the pan hanging so low to the ground on this thing like we did before. I had bought one of those pans, but it's on my 5.3 a couple states away, so we'll go ahead and get a different one. So I'm not going to clean the pan too much more than that. Mainly I just wanted to get, you know, from the block surface up, from the oil pan gasket up, under the heads. And then now I'm probably going to go ahead and snatch the intake off of it, and then tape up the ports and give the valley cover a good rinsing, and rinse the whole thing down one more time before I push it back over yonder. But this thing don't look too terrible. I just really don't want to believe that this is a 500,000 mile motor, but and then taking a little peek down in there, it doesn't look too sludgy. So I'm gonna get the intake off, do a little bit more cleaning. I'll probably keep that all on time lapse, and then pick you guys up when we pull the heads off, see what we're looking like in the combustion chamber, because that's what I'm really curious for. So it's not terrible, but I do think that old girl had some miles on her. The injectors all look clean. I remember when I pulled the 5.3 apart, the injectors did not look that good. That one's kind of got some weird buildup on it, but the other ones are clean. Basically, we just have like a shitload of oil in the intake, that oil vapor. And for all the rookies, this is what they tell you to get a catch can for, is all this sludge that builds up in the ports. And that's all stuff that's getting pulled back into the intake system. But other than that, it's just basic normal intake gasket lines. I think they've been there for a good long time because they kind of etched into the aluminum a little bit in the head. And then if you look down into the ports, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but you can see a pretty solid let me get my flashlight. Yeah, the camera's not barely getting it. You can see a pretty solid line in every chamber where like your carbon and stuff was at, and it's like that in every cylinder. They're all uniform. So far I'm not seeing any signs that this thing ever got hot, so we might be in decent shape. I don't know. But what I did decide was I'm not going to scrub anymore. I'm going to go ahead and pull the because I remember when I did this last time, I can just get in here with a wire wheel afterwards, after I get all the shit off, and get this part of the block cleaned up, and then get like this part of the block cleaned up after I get all this stuff apart. Because, well, for one, I can, and two, I just want to get the heads off because I'm really curious what our valves look like on the bottom, basically what our combustion chamber looks like. So set y'all up on the time lapse, and we're gonna get these valve covers off, get the rockers and push rods pulled, and get the heads off. I'm gonna go ahead and move the engine back around the front there so I'm in my good light, and I can use my table. Damn, it's this is the first day that has been 90 degrees, and yeah, my dad's self ain't ready for summer, but got the heads off. I'm very satisfied. There wasn't an issue. Like, I didn't find an issue with either side of any of the holes on the head gasket, so it didn't have a blown head gasket. Minor carbon buildup. I think it had a couple leaky valves. I could check that by flipping these over and putting some alcohol in it or something, but I'm gonna get the heads fucked with anyway, so I don't care if there's a leaky valve or not, because it's gonna get fixed, so I don't care. Pulled all the lifters out, just had to kind of use pliers a little bit. They just had there's like a little lip, you know, like a wear lip from where they had been riding, but shit, they all look good. A couple of them had like a little itty bitty little score in them that, like, you can't catch your fingernail on it or nothing. It's just a little wear line. But all the push rods look good, all the rockers look good. None of them were loose or janky or falling apart or nothing. So I think it's pretty good. I mean, I was shocked to see cross hatching in here, and they might look a little funky right now because I just wiped them down with some motor oil, because I'm probably not going to have the heads done for a minute, so I'm going to have to keep coming out here and wiping these down with oil, keep them from rusting up on me. But yeah, I'll do a little turning on it another day and get these pistons cleaned off. Just do a little scuff on them, get that carbon off, and then shit, boy, I guess I'll clean this up to paint it, and then damn, I don't even know if I want to pull the valley cover off. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I probably will for when I do the cam, so I can watch it and see all the cam bearings real good. But yeah, I'm happy for a day of cleaning the engine, getting it pretty close, and then taking the heads off and seeing what we had to work with. We're in great shape. I'm stoked. So let's go over what we have. Now, this was all stuff that we had bought for Chris's LS swap to go on his dually, and he went ahead and he was like, you can have it. So when better times come around, I'll see if I can't hook him up and return the favor. But we have a sloppy stage 2 cam, and we bought a kit, but I think we got like 2 different kits from different orders, because some of the stuff doesn't seem like it normally would come in the kit. But anyways, we got the cam, we got the front cover gasket, we got ARP head bolts for equal length, which is what we have. And then we got a 10-296 milling oil pump. I gotta decide if I'm gonna put the red spring in it or not, get some extra oil pressure, but I probably won't. And then we got the 7.4 push rods. We got some Morel lifters, and these are from 2019, so they're pre-COVID bullshit, all that. They're legit Morels from BTR. We got our water pump gaskets, got our cam retainer plate, got our cam retainer plate bolts, got our crank bolt, got, well, I don't know if that's a new one or not. It's gotta be. Cam bolts. I don't know if this is the front seal or the rear main seal, but it's one of the seals. And we got the Dirty Dingo mounts, and then we got a set of springs for the cam kit. So I'm only missing a couple things. Looks like I'm missing a rear cover gasket, which I'm gonna change the rear main and all that while I'm here, because y'all know why. I don't think it was really leaking, but we're here right now, so we're gonna do it just to have it done. And then we're getting a different pan, so that takes care of the oil pan gasket because it comes with one. I got to get head gaskets because I don't have those. And then I'm probably gonna, oh man, I might replace the knock sensors. I don't know. I'll probably leave the cam sensor alone. We'll see what we got, because I can just change that once we get it in there if it's bad. And then we have the front cover gasket, have a pulley bolt. So shit, I think we in pretty good shape. I got my water pump from my 5.3 is in here, and it was a new one, so we have a water pump. I have all the accessories. Damn, I can't think of anything I'm missing. Intake gaskets, I'll go ahead and get those because these were crusty as crap. These joints right here had quite a bit of carbon on them, which I guess I can't say that's that much if it was truly 480,000 miles. That ain't a crazy amount, but nonetheless we'll get new ones. It looks like it's kind of folded over in a couple spots, so maybe this thing had like some weird little vacuum leak or had a little lean issue or something. I don't know, man. This thing looks really nice. The oil's clean. I watched the video from when we drained it. The oil was clean, didn't have any issues with that, but I'm changing the pan anyway, so we'll get a second look. And I couldn't find any issues anywhere else, so I'm not even gonna look at the damn rod main caps. Don't look at it. I'm not even gonna look at it. So overall, I'm pretty stoked. Very thankful that Chris offered this to me and was like, here, just take it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna return the favor either around Christmas is probably when we'll be doing good numbers again in the bank account, and I'm gonna hook him up and return the favor. And who knows, he still works the same job hauling around the junkyard, so who knows, another van might come rolling in and we might get us another 6.0, and that one will be his. And then I'll have to buy him a cam kit and all that, and we'll get him set up. But anyways, I'm rambling. That is it for this one. Peace out, be human. We'll see you later. And don't forget to check out MattyXBuilds.com, link below, and get that spring pack before I turn the website off. I'm gonna let it run through the end of this month. June 1st, I'm turning the website off. So get your orders in if you want some summer merch. It's just a couple stickers and a lanyard, but nonetheless, it's something. You'd be supporting the 6.0 build. And other than that, we're out of here. See ya.